The WNBA's orange hoodie is one of the most easily recognizable merchandising options in all of American sports. It's bright, it's simple, and that's what made it the perfect catalyst for inciting support for the league. This was one of my favorite sports moments of 2020 because the plan was so simple, yet so effective at creating huge impacts for the league.
Would have been even more deep and talented had they also had the services.
It's no secret that the WNBA has had problems gaining traction over the years. They've had issues with lack of visibility, lack of sponsorships, and all of that translates to less wages for players and less cultural respect for them in the sports world. Now, the NBA has tried to shine a light on the W in the past, but it's largely just been through these stereotypical and kind of stale at times commercial campaigns that air on TV, and they've done little to move the needle towards pushing viewership to the league. I think what's been more beneficial for increasing support for the WNBA among basketball fans, especially millennials and Gen Z, is seeing the players that they already root for in the NBA support the women of the W. That more raw and organic support is what made the orange hoodie push in the bubble incredibly successful, and not only driving merchandising sales, but also driving viewership.
Kobe, you have been a supporter of the WNBA, but what brings you out on opening day?
Well, I mean, to continue to support, and we're a big basketball family, and our middle daughter Gianna just loves the game so much. So, here we are to watch them play.
Now, to get into how all of this came together, we have to go back to December 29th, 2019, when Kobe and Gianna Bryant were courtside at a Lakers game. Kobe was photographed wearing the orange hoodie. Within the next month, a helicopter accident took both of their lives, and these pictures would become some of the last public photos of Kobe and Gigi. Undoubtedly, their deaths in January of 2020 had an impact on pushing NBA fans to support the WNBA. A lasting part of Kobe's legacy is the fact that he was advocating for the women's game, and fans can feel like they're keeping his legacy alive by doing the same. What's also important to note is the role social justice played in all of this. The killings of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd led the entire country to a conversation around meaningful support for social causes, and providing financial support was a huge part of that conversation. By the time the WNBA's traditional May opening day came around, it was already announced that players would be entering a bubble environment to compete in the 2020 season. The NBA and WNBA sites were just miles away from each other in Florida. So for a sports community who had been starving for content since mid-March, a lot of fans had been hungry for any form of live basketball they could feast their eyes on. And that's when the WNBA mobilized. Though both leagues would play a few exhibition games, there was a week gap between the start of their bubble seasons. July 25th for the WNBA and July 30th for the NBA. This was perfect because it meant that the same week the WNBA started their regular season, the NBA would be playing their scrimmages. And on July 24th, the plan went live. The WNBA got together with ESPN to send out hoodies to players and influencers in order to generate some buzz for the season. The league sent 140 hoodies into the NBA bubble to be distributed amongst the teams, and ESPN shipped hoodies to 50 celebrities around the country who posted on their social platforms. The players showed up to scrimmages in their hoodies, and this is genius, because NBA tunnel fashion has become a huge part of the league's marketing. Every social media manager posts tunnel pictures of their team stars prior to the start of games, so NBA fans are already trained to look out for that content. The NBA was able to leverage their visibility to endorse their sisters in the WNBA, and the message they put forward was simple: basketball is back. Not NBA basketball, but WNBA. And boy, did it work. The majority of these pictures were posted on the morning and afternoon of July 24th, and by that night most sizes of the hoodies were sold out on Fanatics. By Saturday the 25th, every size was on back order for the next 2 weeks. They had done it. The WNBA's orange hoodie was the top selling item on the entire site, which hosts merchandise for every major sports league in America. As far as the numbers on social media impact, entertainment partnerships analytics company Zoof calculated that the orange hoodie campaign amassed 1,079 posts across all social platforms during the week of the season start. Those impressions were good for over $5,000 in equivalent value had they paid to reach those same customers. The success didn't stop there, because the hoodie push was also a jumping off point for increased viewership throughout the season. The highlighted Saturday opener between the Sparks and Mercury on ABC became the league's most watched opener on the ESPN family of networks since 2012, delivering an average of 539,000 viewers. ESPN's 4-game opening slate that weekend averaged 401,000 viewers across ESPN and ABC. That's up 63% over the 2019 WNBA regular season averages for ESPN broadcasts. Overall, total viewership for the entire season grew 68% according to Yahoo. And that growth is amazing when you consider the fact that other leagues had their viewership drop given the same circumstances of the year that was 2020. On October 2nd, the league announced that the orange hoodie was the highest selling WNBA item on Fanatics of all time, and it continues to sell well even in the off-season. The WNBA orange hoodie proved that viral-based social strategy can still work, as long as the content is reflected directly towards a call to action. The W was able to use their allies and leverage their social climate to drive viewers into supporting their product. Now the league has more eyes and is gaining momentum. Hopefully they keep painting the timeline WNBA orange.